Hey there. One of the lessons that I want to share that's meant a lot to me in my life is a lesson that came from a book I read probably when my oldest kid, Kendall, was 10, 12 years old. The book was called The 60-Minute Father, and the whole point of the book was as a dad, um, we can somehow find it way too easy to be too tired or to be too busy, too distracted, too whatever, and to just say no. Just have the default answer of no. And um, what happened, specifically was Kendall had been wanting to learn to play piano, and we didn't have a piano, we didn't have a keyboard or anything. And she would say to me that she was going to play the piano one day, and I would say to her, "And you're going to be great at it, baby." And so I'm reading this book, and it speaks to don't ever speak a vision to your kid without investing in it and to know what their heart is after and invest in that to make their dreams come true. And as soon as I read that, I got up and literally went out to my wife Sean and said, "Let's go. We're going to the store." And we went that moment and bought a keyboard for Kindle, and she started taking voice and piano lessons and did become really good. Matter of fact, she's an incredible singer and tried out for American Idol several years ago. So, but but what really got me out of that, what I really got out of that book was how often we can just speak and not really even pay attention to what we're saying. And then the second part that came out of that book was your kids won't tell you, but one day they're going to ask you to do something, many things, for the last time. It could be, "Hey, Dad, do you want to play ball?" And we just say no, too tired, too lazy, too whatever. And then one day they won't tell you, but they're not coming back. They'll never ask you again. And, "Hey, Dad, can I ride on your shoulders through the mall?" When they're little. No, too tired, shoulders hurt, whatever. And they grow up, man. They don't ask anymore. And so I've tried to be intentional, and I won't tell you I got this one right all the time, but I've paid a lot more attention to it than I would have because of this book that I invested in all of my kids' dreams. And my youngest just turned 18 in the last week. And I've invested in all of them in different ways, but also I've tried to be present. I've tried to pay attention to what means something to them because, my oldest is 29 and she's married. She's got kids. I've got grandkids, and what she needs from me is it's not about ball and it's not about those things, but sometimes it's me realizing she just needs to talk to Dad, just needs a moment. And same with my son. He's 26, going through transitions in life and figuring stuff out, and sometimes it's just hang out and talk about something. My youngest is graduating high school this year, and anyway, the conversations change, they evolve, and so being present with a 10-year-old is different than being present with an 18, a 26, and a 29-year-old. And also, they say that by the time our kid becomes 18, that we've spent 80% of the time with them or more that we ever than we'll ever get with them. And so the window closes as they get older. And I just want to encourage you that, whether you're a dad, stepdad, whatever role you have in kids' lives, just pay attention to your no. Pay attention to how it may be way too much of a default where we just, no, too tired. And sometimes, my kids would say, "Why? Why no? Why not? Why?" And if I would be honest in those moments, I didn't have a good answer, and it kind of would wake me up. And so, pay attention to your no. Pay attention to your not now and not today and any other thing that you may just answer your kids with that one day you may wish you said yes to something a little more often, or you invested in their dreams a little more intentionally. And it's a lesson, man. That I'm a dad, man, to the core of my heart. It's one of the most favorite roles I have in my life, and it's special to me. But you realize seasons change, and you don't want to get and have a big old pile of regret wishing you spent more time with your kids. So anyway, just pay attention to how you react and how you respond and how you answer some of the things they ask you for, because they're not going to come back one day, and they won't tell you that. And um, we want our last ask to be a yes. Keep rocking.